Good morning, guys. Remember, this week we start our Bible study in earnest. And yes, for the next 2 weeks, we'll be looking at Carnival, the concept of Carnival, and how Christians ought to look at it and why we look at it that way. So that's our Bible study. You've got to pay attention. And hear what? We're going to be doing it, part of it online. Some preparatory sessions are going to be sent out probably between Sunday and Tuesday. You've got to get them so that we limit how much we do during the actual session. So we try to work it out, right? That's on Wednesday. Let me see if I could get to this week's devotions. I'm reading from the book of Acts of the Apostles, chapter 27, verse 25, and that forms our theme for the year. It says, "So take courage, for I believe God. It will be just as He said. So take courage, for I believe God. It will be just as He said." And that is so profound. Let me tell you what, you really need a word from God when the situation doesn't line up with what we think it ought to be. So God said to Paul early at his salvation, I'm going to let you testify to the Jewish community and to the Gentiles. Later on, he said to him, I'm going to let you testify in several cities. Later on, he said to him, I'm going to let you testify to the leaders of the Gentile world. Now, how that ought to be done, Paul didn't have a clue, but now it's now in train. And sometimes we're going through some stuff and we tell ourselves, this can't be the will of God. This can't be where God is saying. We've got to return to what He said, because His method of getting us there may not be the route we choose, but it's the route that will get us to fulfill our goals. If you read the passages before, you'd realize that He spoke to the leaders of the Roman world, getting Himself onto Caesar, the ultimate leader of the Roman world and of the then known world. And so God is taking him there, but He's taking him there in chains. What God says is crucial. What God says is crucial, because when we start to believe God, it is only upon what He says. It is not how we feel, what we think about it, whether it's up or down. It's about what He says. And if He says He's going to take you someplace, He will. If He says He'll prosper you, He will. If He says you'll be a success, you will. What He says to you and about you, He is going to do all things well, and all things will work together for the good, because you're called according to His purpose. It is the fulfillment of His purpose, of His will, that is crucial. So yes, Paul says, I believe God. And for this year, we believe God. We're looking for the ultimate will of God, the purpose of God to be fulfilled. We're doing it incrementally and in the situation that is not necessarily the best in our hearts and minds. But that's where we are. We're believing God. And we do so for Christ's sake. Amen.